Hello children, just another video for you today. Not reading this time, no book, no poem. I just wanted to sort of have a speak about my favourite subject. As many of you know, my favourite subject is maths. And while in lockdown, there's so much you could be doing to really build that maths knowledge. And I know lots of you are doing things at home and you're doing homework from your teachers, but here's just a few little ideas in which you can use around the house, with things at home, just to make maths and lockdown a bit more exciting. All right, here we go. So number one, times tables. We all know times tables are so important in every aspect of maths. They pop up all over the place, and it's really good to have that real good knowledge of 1s to 12s all the way up. And when you're at home, there's so many different ways, just by doing it with your mum or dad or adult at home, having some time around a dinner table and just bouncing a bit of times table ping pong. One says one, then the next, and so on, and just building up that repertoire, working your way all the way up to 12 times a number. That's really important. If you want to do it on your own, you could use something like I'm in, using your stairs. Every single step you go up, do one of the times tables, work your way up, and then work your way back down and see if you can do it backwards. Some of you have got some exciting apps on the go. There's some times table Rockstars apps. There's apps online like Hit the Button. Use them, see what you can get. Just try and practice those timetables. They're so fundamentally important in all of maths. And if you can get those really, really good, really stuck in your brain, so whenever someone asks you like quick answers, you're going to be really improving your maths work excellently. Okay, number two. This is quite a fun one I came up with the other day. I thought, while I was cooking, not many people get to go to the shops at the moment. So sometimes it's one per family. Sometimes a lot of people are getting it delivered because they don't want to leave their house because of lockdown. So build a little shop in your house. When mum's going to do the cooking, or dad, or someone's going to be doing the cooking, grab some of the bits they might need, make some fake money on paper, or maybe you could even use some real coins if you've got them, and you make a little shop. Get the adults to buy the ingredients they need for tonight's dinner, and they can give you some money and you can give them change back. And remember, it doesn't mean you can keep the money at the end, but it's a good thing to try and work out change, how you can take money, identify what each coin means, how much you're going to get back, but also it's just some quick adding skills for you. You're not going to have a beat machine like they have in Sainsbury's, so you're going to have to add up those items yourself. And if you've given them correct prices or something similar, that would be really good for you to start really clicking through those additions and making sure that you understand what prices mean and what money's worth really. But also, if you want to take it up, if you're in the upper key stage 2, you could even take it a bit further. You could have a few sales, you could have some percentages off some of the prices. You could have half price sales or a quarter off this if you want to use some fractions. There's lots of different things you can play around with the shop. And I quite like that idea of sort of setting it up, and it's something you can do throughout the day, and right at the end of the day, your adult in your house, your mum, your dad, whoever, can come buy the bits from you, and then you can sort it out. It'd be a fun little game before dinner. So try that one if you can. Number 3, patterns. Patterns are everywhere. Everywhere you look, everywhere you see. If you go out in the garden, if you go into your kitchen, if you go into just the floor of your house, there are patterns all over the place. Maths is all about patterns, and it's not just about number patterns, it's about shape patterns and how things fit together. So have a look around your house, see if you can spot any of the patterns, see if you can make any of your own using certain objects. Can you do a repetitive pattern? Can you do an increasing pattern? See if you can work out some patterns with numbers as well, string some number sentences together that build a pattern with their answers, and see if you can make any links. It's all about recognizing and seeing these things in everyday life, not just on a bit of paper with numbers. And patterns are literally everywhere. If you've got a garden or you get a chance to go out for your hours exercising in a park, look at nature's patterns, look at the petals on flowers, look at the tree bark and see the pattern down there. Have a look around your paving stones on the sidewalk or in your garden, and go from there and just make some patterns or see the patterns. It's really interesting stuff. Number 5. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Number 4. Number 4. There's lots of things in maths which require tally charts, logs, bar charts, pie charts. But a really good way to do that when you're home is to use your eyes, use your ears, and go into your garden or sit at your window and start tallying things that you're seeing. Maybe if you're on a road, it might be cars that go past on the road that in a certain amount of time. It might be how many birds you see. It might be how many birds you hear or animals you can hear from the window or in your back garden. It could be anything that you put your mind to, but the important part is logging that in a tally chart or some form of cumulative sequence, which will build up a pattern over the days. So you might do something like from 9 till 10 every morning, you're going to count how many cars, or from 4 p.m. in the evening till 5 p.m, you're going to see how many birds you can hear in the back garden. And you can do a little bar chart to go along with that, or it might be a pictogram. If you want to go upper key stage 2, you might be doing some pie charts with that. You can do lots of different things with those graphs. So make sure you're picking something that you can do every single day, or if you want to do it in one day, make sure there's a lot of data you can get into it and build some graphs from it. Try and present it in a nice way. If you've got access to a laptop, have a go at something like Excel or Word and try and build a digital graph with it and just have a play around. So what's the worst that can happen? It can go wrong and you can try again. There's nothing wrong with that. We're in lockdown, we're all learning. Okay, now the real number 5. So the real number 5, organisation. In maths, there's organising everywhere. It's one of our fundamental things. So go around your house, do some organising. Maybe in your bedroom or your playroom, you might organise your toys. You need to think of your organisation tools though. Are you going to do it in size order? Are you going to do it because of the colour? Are you going to do it because of the shape? You can make that decision, and you can organise your toys in one way, and then maybe organise your toys in a completely different way afterwards and see the differences between your organisation. Maybe you organise your tins in your cupboard. Maybe you organise your DVDs. How can you do that? What would you be able to do with your organisation? What title will you give it? And how would that differ to a different one? So it might be size, it might be shape. Would the patterns look the same? Try and take some pictures afterwards so you can compare them. Again, if you've got a computer of any sort, put those pictures up, put them next to each other, see what it looks like. Why does this one look different to this one? And explain, give it a title, give it a little bit of design to it so you can show it to someone else. Number 6. So, this is one of my favourite ones. I've done this lots of times in school actually. And we've made board games. And we've made a simple sort of track board game which you can roll a dice, or you can just move one space along at a time, and each space has got different questions on it or different activities you can do, all revolving around maths. Now one of my favourite ones is to do this around the 4 functions, so addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And maybe you build a nice board game and some of the slots have different questions on it, so some might be addition questions, some might be multiplication questions, and so on and so forth. And have a think about what level of questions. Maybe you'll set 2 sets if you've got siblings, older or younger. Maybe you'll have a set of questions for your younger brother or sister, and a set of questions for you, or a set of questions for you and a harder set of questions for your older brother and sister. Or maybe, if it's just you and your adults, maybe you want to set some really hard ones for the adults and a few simpler ones for you. But don't forget, you're trying to learn here, so test yourself as well. Don't always make it too easy. But a board game is great fun, and you can use it again and again and again. And we're in lockdown for a little bit more time, so it'll be good to have something to do. Number 7, okay, nearly got too many fingers there. So, number 7, posters. I love posters, and I used to have posters all over my classroom with maths facts and descriptions of how to do certain calculations, some top tips on fractions, different things. You could do a fraction wall poster, you could do how to work out percentages, what's the easiest way, finding 10%, finding 1%. You might go all about, you might have some Venn diagram posters that just show some different categories of numbers, some different categories of shapes. You don't know, it's completely up to you. But those posters will not only give you a little bit of maths help, but also maybe brighten up one of your rooms, brighten up your fridge, and just keep reminding you of those maths things that you want to be not forgetting while you're in lockdown, and you want to keep that ticking over in your head. Number 8 is symmetry. I love mirrors, I love symmetry. And it's all over the place. You can find it in the garden, you can find it in the kitchen, you can find it in your bedroom, you can find it in your hallway, your road, your driveway, wherever you want. There's always symmetry somewhere if you look hard enough. So go around your house, go around your garden, try and find that line of symmetry and see if it's the same either side. Find some shapes that have got perfect symmetry. Can you find things that have got more than one line of symmetry? Has it got 2 lines of symmetry, 3 lines of symmetry, maybe even more? Have a think, have a look around all those different opportunities that you could find to find symmetry. But also you could play a little game. If you've got a brother or sister or you've got another adult in the house, get a piece of paper, doesn't matter what colour, doesn't matter what size, draw a line straight down the middle. And you draw something on one side of that line. And your partner, whether it be your adult, whether it be a sibling, has to draw the other side exactly the same but symmetrical, so it's like a mirror image. Can you do that with some easy shapes? Could you try and trick your adults and do some hard shapes? And vice versa, ask them to do one back for you. It's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of games, but it's also teaching you about symmetry and the rules of what happens on one side is mirrored into the other side. And it's really quite interesting to pass the time that way. Okay, the last 2, so 9 and 10. These are a bit of exciting ones. The ones that I like to think are more on the outskirts of maths with the excitement, but the more practical side, but also just a bit more fun and a bit artistic. So number 9 is drawing, but drawing mathematically. Could you do a drawing that only has squares? Could you do a drawing that only uses shapes that have got right angles in them? Could you draw something only using the number 2? Could you draw something that relates completely to the number 7 and the 7 only? So could you use heptagons, could you use 7-sided shapes, could you use 7 lines, can you use the actual number 7, could you do lots of different things with it? Maybe it's a different number, maybe it's a different shape. But try and give yourself a rule before you start drawing. Try and give yourself an idea that you can build from, that you can really let your imagination roll, but you're focusing just purely on that one thing, or maybe 2 rules. It's up to you, I'll let you decide, but I'll be really interested to see how some of that artwork turns out. And number 10, this is my personal favourite. It includes weighing, it includes measuring, it includes pouring, and that is cooking. You've got all those things, you're following instructions as well, which is really good for your reading skills, and you're going to be measuring, you're going to be pouring, and you're going to be doing all these mathematical things that will help you to learn about millilitres, it will help you to learn about weighing and grams and kilograms, and putting all those things into one really yummy recipe. And what's best about cooking is you do all that maths, and at the end you cook something for a certain time limit, so you have to learn about timings, but also at the end you get to eat something, and that is always a good thing in my book. So that was 10 fantastic ideas that you can do that include maths in your home. Hope they're interesting and I hope you like them. I'd love to see some of you try them, hear about them, so please make sure you do your very best to try maybe at least one of them while you're at home. Okay? See you later. Stay safe. Bye bye.